What up, y'all? DCFAYGOGUY. Vinyl reviews are done as of right now. I have every single vinyl that I own, every ICP vinyl that I own. Finally got the review done for them, more of like an unboxing and showing you what it is. And I figured a good way to kind of wrap up that series is to also put out a video, is vinyl worth it? Now, that question is really kind of on a by-person basis. If you asked me, is vinyl worth it? I would say yes and no. If you would ask somebody who has money and space to store the vinyl, they would probably say yes. If somebody didn't have a lot of money, they may or may not say no. It really ultimately depends kind of on your situation. So let's break it down a little bit more than that. Vinyl, for the most part, a lot of artists these days, they really go above and beyond to give you beautiful discs. There's very different ones that are very wonderfully themed. A lot of picture discs I think are really neat, but some of your hardcore vinyl collectors and enthusiasts will tell you that picture discs suck as far as quality of the sound goes because of the way that the picture is pressed and the way that the music is pressed. I personally like the picture discs a lot, but it really kind of comes down to, are you getting these vinyls to display them, or are you simply getting them to collect them? Or do you legitimately want to get these and have the experience of putting the disc on a turntable and listening to it? There is something nostalgic about that. I do remember growing up and my mom had these Christmas vinyls that we would listen to. You know, it was Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton's Christmas. I don't even remember the name of it. She also had that, it's the Very Special Christmas, I think it is. It's the one that's like red. If I can find the image, I'll put it up on the screen. But she had that. She had a different one. She had like a Disney one as well that was like, you know, the different Christmas carols or whatever it is. But there was always a nostalgia memory of decorating for Christmas and putting on a record and doing that. So when they first started putting out, when ICP first started putting out the wax works, that was kind of the memory I always held on to, and that's why I collected them. And then ultimately it turned into, well, like, these are really fucking cool. Some of the vinyl that they have put out are so wonderfully themed, the way that they colored the discs and everything. So from a collector's standpoint, I would say, is vinyl worth it? Yes, because depending on the vinyl you're getting, and some of the earlier ones, maybe not so much, the Wraith, the Riddle Box, the Mighty Death Pop, they weren't really themed. They didn't really go above and beyond. And then I think that's when they had the idea, like, let's do waxworks and really step it up. And a lot of that could be from the comeback of vinyl. Vinyl has made a comeback. And like I said, a lot of artists, they're going above and beyond on making their discs look great. Even Fear Factory has started to do this. You know, they put out vinyl in the past where it's just the black with, you know, a label in the middle of the album art. But even Fear Factory is getting these manufacturers that are doing some really cool stuff with their vinyl. And it has me super tempted to collect their vinyl, as well as Twisted has been doing some sweet shit with their vinyl as well. But that brings me to my next point. Collecting vinyl is an extremely expensive habit, a hobby, whatever you want to call it. Most CDs cost anywhere from $10 to $20, depending on the artist, depending on what they're asking you to pay for their music. When you get it pressed on vinyl, that price goes up by at least $15. Most of the ICP vinyl that they were putting out on Waxworks, the cheapest vinyl you could find was like $30. Most of the vinyl that I have, I got for $25 to $30. So getting all the vinyl is going to be expensive. Throw in the fact now that a lot of those aren't even in print anymore. So you're going to have to go get them off of eBay or somebody who's reselling them. And a lot of those resellers know the value of what they have because you can't get it. That value then goes up. I mean, my Wraith vinyl that I have, I paid $70 for off of eBay. But at that time, and even still now to this day, it hasn't been repressed. So paying $70 for a vinyl that you really can't find and that is in good condition, I mean, that's the cost of vinyl. So as far as cost goes, I would say if you've got the money, sure, why not? If you really want to jump into it and dive into it, why not do it? You know what I mean? You're going to enjoy some of the vinyls that you're going to get. But if for any reason you don't financially have it to do it, I wouldn't recommend it. It's definitely a slippery slope. You get that first couple vinyl and you're like, oh man, this is really sweet. then the kind of, if you have this in you, the completionist in you then wants the rest of them. I have Fear Factory's obsolete on vinyl. The completionist in me says and has me wanting to go get the rest of their vinyl, but I also know, again, $30 of vinyl is what it's going to take to get the rest of those. And, you know, they put out a lot of albums. So trying to go and do that and then getting into their older albums that aren't, I mean, they're out of print right now. That's going to get spendy. Trying to go get Demanufactured, Digimortal. I don't think Archetype or Transgression has ever been pressed up. Right now, you can get Mechanized and you can get Reindustrialized. And I believe you can also get Aggression Continuum, which is their newest album. But as far as going in and getting Genexus or any of the others that I named, it's going to start getting spendy. So I look at it like I don't have the money for that. And then that kind of brings you back to my last point, the listening aspect, the experience of listening to it. I honestly don't listen to my vinyl very often. And part of that was because I didn't really have a good setup, but we are also in the digital streaming age where it's just so much simpler to throw on your Bluetooth onto a speaker and just stream it from your phone, assuming you have a streaming service of some kind, which, I mean, I think a good solid 8 out of 10 people these days are using some kind of a streaming service, whether it be YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, I think Tidal, is that the name of it? I don't even know. There's so many out there. Most people are just doing it, and it's honestly just the most accessible. So really getting vinyl for the sake of listening to it and having that experience, it kind of honestly isn't there. But if in your case that is going to be something you're going to do, then yeah, sure, maybe it's worth it. Otherwise, it's going to just sit there and collect dust, which is essentially what mine has done. So if you're doing it just for the sake of collection, sure, it's worth it. If you've got the money to do it, sure, it's worth it. And ultimately, if you want to have the experience of listening to the vinyl and you think the discs that I've shown in my playlist, and I'll plug the playlist of all the vinyl, sure, I would say that it's probably worth it. But, you know, for me going forward, that's a very firm not really. I don't think that I will pick up any of the Fear Factory vinyl. As much as I would love to, I don't think I'll ever pick up any of the Twisted vinyl that has been put out. And if ICP continues on Waxworks, honestly, I don't know if I would continue to pick up the vinyl because they've literally just kind of sat there. So to answer the question for me, no, I don't think vinyl is completely worth it. There's an experience there, there's a collectability there, but it's very expensive. And for me, and for my case, I just don't listen to them. So they really just sit there. I easily have hundreds of dollars worth of vinyl that just sits there. So, you know, my house ever catches on fire, they're going to find this big ball of wax and be like, oh, is this a candle collection? No, it was my vinyl. Thanks, firefighter. But yeah, I guess if you own vinyl, tell me down below what you guys think. Do you think it's worth it? And if you don't own vinyl and you are curious about it, I guess ask some questions. If you have questions about, you know, if I didn't cover enough bases here in this video, ask them down below. But I thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the vinyl series. I know I took a long break there for a while, but I didn't quite have quite the setup I wanted to do the rest of them. And, you know, I wanted to have that. So it feels good to finally have them out. And it had been so long that apparently I redid Bang Pow Boom when I had already done it prior. So there are 2 videos out there of the Bang Pow Boom vinyl unboxings. So I hope you guys have enjoyed them. Again, leave your thoughts down below. Tell me what you guys think about vinyl. Is it worth it? You tell me. I think it's not so much worth it, but my situation is different than what yours might be. But anyway, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.